computer. Okay, so second slide that we are going to cover is various scheduling technique. Okay, various scheduling technique. The first week, what we did was just the introduction of the overall concept of planning and scheduling and time management. Well, we did mention a little bit, but then we are going to zoom in bit by bit with regard to all the detailing, okay? Planning and scheduling. Planning and scheduling, when you learn in whatever year, it could be in diploma, in degree, in master, or even PhD, well, everything is about the same except the detailing, how detailed you are given, okay? The concept is almost the same. All right, the importance of project scheduling. To give confidence to the client when during tendering, okay, during tendering, you as a contractor, for instance, why do we refer to client, contractor, and whatnot? For me, the party who know the best, okay, about scheduling is basically the one that will do the construction. Who is basically is going to do the construction? Basically, the contractor. Okay, general scheduling we can everybody can do. General scheduling meaning to say just putting the activities according to the name of big what we call activity. That is easy. But when we go into the detailing, contractor should know the best. The one that who is going to construct the project should be doing the scheduling. Okay, so we are referring to those people. So let's say a normal project tendering, contractor um, will decide basically whether they wanted to enter into a tender or not. But then in the tender requirement submission, one of the things that you need to submit is the work program, or what we call scheduling of the given project. Okay, if you do not do that, you do not submit, so you will be considered as maybe disqualified because you do not fulfill one of the main requirement, okay, of the tender submission. All right. And then the client will look at your work program. By looking at your work program alone, the client can basically have some kind of a feeling to what extent this contractor basically so-called serious in taking a job, or even know how to do the work, because it depends on what are the things that you input into project scheduling. It must be basically realistic, that reflect the project that you are going to undertake. To eliminate any uncertainties, yes, because planning is for the future. Okay, we do the scheduling is basically for the future. Nobody do things for the ongoing things. Huh? That is what we call planning scheduling. We do something which is not there yet. Why? Because we want to get the ideas, what could be the potential problem, and at the end of the day, we are being prepared. Okay, that is the uncertainties. To improve the efficiency of the operation with regard to utilization of resources and costs. Later on in our class, I will touch a little bit on resource leveling, resource schedule, resource what we call smoothing. Well, everybody, let's say how many of us in this class, like let's say 15. If you are given a project, let's say you want to schedule a bungalow house, you are given 1 year to complete the work. Everybody can complete within 1 year in terms of scheduling. But the best scheduling, basically at the least cost or at the minimum cost, meaning to say, how do you achieve minimum cost? By managing your resources optimally. Okay, how to manage those things? By putting your resources, the right resources. You do not want to order plant and machinery too early or too late, and then people, too many people, a few people. No, you just want to get the right number of people. Then only basically you can reduce the cost. So this is the item. Then to better understand a project objective. Okay, the issue is that if you are given a project such as bungalow, at the end of the day, to construct the bungalow, you break up into a smaller unit so that all those activities and tasks can be measured. Okay, can be measured. Meaning to say, you basically split up all the KPI of completing the bungalow project into a smaller one so that you can better manage the activities. If you do not attach what we call quantity, it's very difficult. How are you going to say to people to what extent you have achieved the work progress in terms of what percentage? People always associate when talking about progress in terms of event, in terms of percentages, in terms of amount of money that you have spent, in order for people to know whether you are lagging behind or leading ahead of time, and etc. And then basis for monitoring and control. Yes, remember when we talk about in our first class, the project management process consists of initiation. Second is basically planning. Third is executing. Fourth is monitoring and control. What is planning without monitoring and control? Basically, it is basically useless. The issue with regard to project implementation, sometimes people can do planning. Yeah, well, you can basically hire best people in planning, or you can even pay people. There are people who do business in doing project scheduling. You just name the price and they will come up with a beautiful project scheduling, but they are not going to manage the project. You are the one that's going to manage the project. So managing the project is one thing, then the ability to monitor and control the project so that it follow whatever that you have planned. That is, I would say, the most difficult part of in managing a project. Doing planning is sometimes not that difficult because it is on paper, involve a little bit of thinking, but the real thing that happen at construction site is more critical. And the basis of monitoring and controlling is based on planning. Okay. And then to the contractor and the client, for sure, contractor is the one that is going to manage the construction project, is the one that basically will bring in all the resources. As I mentioned, the right resources is the most important thing. Contractor basically want to make money. How do you make money? By controlling your resources. Then only you will get the targeted profit, or you can even maximize your profit. And then number 3, claim and request of EOT. Okay, this is another issue. We cannot basically avoid delay in any construction. Whenever you go in Malaysia or all over the world, the word delay is always being associated with project management. It is part and parcel. Okay, it will always happen. But then you do not want just simply let the project slip away from the actual planning by just simply looking at those graphs. You need to do something. Okay, you need to do something. And when you need to do something, basically you need to come up with the recovery plan to catch up with whatever plan. Okay, so you need to prove to the client that you are basically lagging behind or delay due to what factors. So those things need to be supported by, for instance, graphic. If you can show the client what is your original plan in terms of graphic, and then superimpose that whenever the delay happen. So this is why we are behind schedule due to the factor that delay could be to COVID or whatever reason. So you want to show to the people, okay? So then planning and scheduling will play a very important part because people are able to see in terms of the overall picture, okay? Otherwise, people cannot see. People just simply go to the site and there is nothing at the construction site that can prove that you are lagging behind unless you show in terms of graphic, network diagram, whatever things. And then another issue is with regard to claim. Okay, in our construction industry, the nature of payment by the client is that after you do the work. After you do the work, then only you can submit progress claim. And that progress claim have to be supported with all kind of evidence to what extent you have completed the work. Otherwise, client will not pay you. That's why sometimes you might contractor view they want to claim as much as possible for sure, but then the client always wanted to pay as least as possible because client also might not have money available. Okay, so that is a conflict between contractor and client. But then things has to be fair. Okay, thing has to be fair. When contractor have done jobs uh, at the requirement of the client, and then contractor deserve the payment. So what to support? Planning scheduling could play very important part in order to support the what we call whatever claim that contractor submitted to the client. And then the client for sure need to monitor the progress of work by the contractor. And again, when you want to monitor, you must base on something. What could be the reference point? All right, this is what we call tracking in project scheduling. We call it tracking. You might notice the word baseline. Okay, the baseline is basically the original plan. Okay, the original plan. Then later on, when the work progress, that's what we call the actual. Okay, when you compare the baseline, the plan versus actual, then only you can see to what extent you might be ahead of time or behind time, or you might be over budget or under budgeted. Okay. Okay, this is just example. I just want to give example in term of, okay, all right. Okay, bear in mind that my internet connection might not be stable. Okay, might not be stable. Okay, so you expect the connection could be come and go. But anyway, okay, this is an example of simple bar chart. When you do scheduling, this is the output. We call it output. Okay, but for sure, you can do that thing in whatever software. It could be Microsoft Project, it could be Excel, it could be whatever software. You will see bar chart will be shown there, okay, as the output. And you notice that the activity listing is here, okay. So the name of activity, this we do not input into the real scheduling A, B, C, D. This is just example. You input by the real name, and then you calculate the duration. That is another issue that we are going to discuss later on in other slide. Then you notice the resources. You see, resources. When you input resources, then you notice that with these resources, we can generate what we call resource histogram. Okay, resource histogram. You notice resource histogram, if you use software, it will automatically be generated for you. What is the function of resource histogram? As a contractor, it is not so important with regard to the client because client only pay you money based on certain amount of claim. You as contractor, you are the one that will use whatever resources that you think necessary. And the more creative you are, the more cost saving that you can achieve. So the differences between one contractor and another is basically depend on the creativity. Everybody can come up with the scheduling, but the best scheduler is the one that have the ability to squeeze whatever the scheduling, so that you can come up, you can complete the work with the minimum cost. So this kind of graph, it looks nice, but sometimes resource histogram graph might not looks like this. This is what we call the peak, and this is what we call the trough. Peak and valley in simple word. So this kind of graph is quite okay because there is a slowly increase in consumption of resources, and then peak, and then basically reduce. All right, this is the one that we want. But sometimes when you input resources into your scheduling, the graph look not very good in terms of sometimes the peak and valley are happening in alternate month or week or whatever. Then you will have difficulties in what? In finding the right people, the right laborer, because people come and go. And you must understand the way people pay laborer or worker.
Hello, doctor. We can't hear you.